Hello everybody. Monkeypuzzle here, and look what I can do. Whoa, hey, ow, ooh. I just learned that when it kind of hurts, but whoa, that's totally in your face. All right, so now that I've made myself present, this is episode number 12, playing our little flavor of Resonant Rise 3. I call it Rise of the Resonant Monkeys. So, that said, time to get started on this episode. What do you think? I'm ready. Look at our Plesiosaurus. They're so big now. I think we'll have to do something with them in a minute, but we'll be right back to that. Hold on there, Plesiosaurus. I will be back. But first, if I can speak, it is time to open some presents. Catdogpigduck was here. He paid us a visit while I was gone, and he gave us these nice little collectibles, the pristine zombie figurines and the pristine zombie pigman figurine and a fossil record. That's very clever. The fossil record. White Josh Man bones. So let's check out the little record and see about it. Where should I put our jukebox? I found this when I was with you guys one time, I think. Anyway, let's see how this record goes. Yeah, these things will all help to decorate my little abode here because it's kind of plain. So, yeah, some tunes. And some action figures. So let's check out the pristine zombie figurines. Now at least I have something to put on my little glass shelf here. So those guys are pretty cool. They got their little bust going on. And then, of course, there we go. That's just inventory tweaks, likes to mess with us like that. So there are the zombie pigman ones. So I'm pretty sure these guys are just collectibles from the fossil and archaeology mod, but they're pretty cool. I like collectibles and need to collect them all. So that's a good start. Thank you, catdogpigduck, for the toys and the tunes. And it's a little loud for me right now, actually. Let me see if I can turn this down a little bit. That's a little better. I know I can turn it down for you guys, but I couldn't even hear myself talk. So, a few things I want to do today, and I should jump right into it. First, I want to ride my Plesiosaurus. So for that, I need a whip, which is sad. I would never whip my poor Plesiosaurus, but we'll just take it as a given that I need to be holding that to ride them. So let's go down there and check them out. So they've gotten pretty big. Their little thing is just too small for them right now. They're hanging out in it. And I did this because they like to go. And I wanted to let them hang out in here for a while because I thought they might breed. But apparently they don't. I've tried feeding them fish and they like to eat it. But it doesn't make them breed at all. So no baby Plesiosaurus that way. At least not that I've seen. That kind of looks like it's trying to do the make baby Plesiosaurus thing, but it's not happening. So yeah, let's try riding these. And I think it's also time to let them go. They've been in here long enough. Time for them to have this whole thing at their disposal. So let me see. So I right-click on these guys. Now, this thing makes a nice little whipping sound. But of course, I'm not going to whip my Plesiosaur. I just have to right-click with this in my hand. And woohoo! I am riding this guy. Can you believe it? And yeah, you just use the same old WASD. And yeah, let's go for a ride. Woohoo! And I'm not sure what happens when you... Oh, it goes underwater. Good thing I have my helmet of respiration. Oh, it goes up and down. Cool. And can I press shift? Oh, no, that just takes me off of it. So I don't really have up and down control, seems like, when I'm riding it. Let's see, get back on again. Ooh, and you can look into my little base there. All my little glass lit up windows underwater. See what we look like again. Oh, yeah. That's nice. So, yeah, he's pretty cool. I could ride him all day long. What do you guys think about that as an episode? We'll just ride the Plesiosaur around. But thank you, Plesiosaur, for letting me ride you. And I am off. So I'm just going to let him go his own merry way. And he's going to go around and catch fish and have this whole lake to himself. And maybe they'll stay at the bottom and they'll become legendary. But I think that's a lot nicer than leaving them penned up here in this thing. So let's see if we can encourage this other one to go do his thing, open it up a little bit. Catdogpigduck thought that their infernalness was just them being stinky from lack of circulation of the water in here. Maybe so. So let's take them out to open waters and let them take a bath. Yeah, there's plenty of fresh water out here, Plesiosaur. So there you go. And I'm actually interested to see what their AI is going to do when they're out here on their own. So anyway, whoop, and I'm off. All right, so that is that. Very cool indeed. So let's go over here and I'll give you an update on my little ancient warfare town. So I actually have been playing with this most of the time since the last episode because it took a lot of tweakiness to really get it working here. So there we go. That's the new addition. His name is He-Mail. So I'll tell you about him in a second. I wonder what happened to Jack. Jack is the lumberjack and he lives there. So I should fill you guys in. A few things have happened. Is one, all the guys you saw me make, they all died. Where is Jack? I did find Jack up here once, but now there is one of these little hobgoblins here. I don't know how he got up there. But I'm missing my lumberjack. Oh, there he is. How'd you get in there, man? And you're hungry. Okay. Let's see if we can get you out of here. And you can head back over to the town center. There you go. All right, I was a little worried about him because I had lost everybody before. They all died, and I was nearby when it happened, and I just couldn't get there fast enough to stop it. And it looks like in the town hall here, whatever it's called, let's turn Wayla on. The town hall, yeah. There's a death list. And you can see, so I lost D and Dumb, and I lost the soldier Rabir, I lost Zebediah, and I lost Block, and I lost Chuck. All gone. But apparently they're resurrectable if I make a priest, which I haven't done yet. So to keep that from happening again, one, I increased my numbers of soldiers. I went from, I think I had 2 before, to 5. And they're all wearing enchanted super gear. So they got, this guy has a sharpness 4 obsidian sword, and they have all kinds of obsidian armor, and they have at least 1 protection 4 each on them, and so on. I still haven't fully equipped them yet, but there was a zombie that just came through and just tore through them, and I was getting these little text messages here, chat messages saying it was happening, but I was going around trying to find them, and finally it was figured out it was happening back here. So I also lit up around the place pretty well. So that's the first balancing thing I found out, is that these guys are quite vulnerable and they can be killed and zombies are after them, but it's just zombies. It's like villagers. I think they must share a lot of the villager AI, and that zombies alone come after them. So we got more soldiers all decked out in their gear. But the thing about these soldiers and all these guys is they eat a lot. And every time I came, they kept running out of food. You saw how Jack had that pork chop over his head. Well, if he came over here and there was no food, then he wouldn't do anything. And a lot of times I came back and they're just all gathered around here with little pork chops on their head. And that just would not do. And I would fill this with food and I'd come back and it would just be gone. So sometimes I unchunk loaded it just so that wouldn't happen. But I want to keep it chunk loaded because I want to keep the production happening. So before I had a crop farm and an animal farm with cows, and always had the tree farm, but now I just have 2 crop farms because I think it's more efficient just to turn the wheat into bread to try to keep them fed. And so to tie the whole thing together and to keep me from having to feed them all the time, I made the guy I introduced you at first. Good old he-mail, kind of like email, but he's he-mail because his job, he's the courier and he runs stuff back and forth. So let me go ahead and make this daytime again so they'll all get busy. These guys, man, they don't work at night. Well, I don't know what their problem is. And the soldiers just stand around all day long regardless, unless they have someone to fight. And I wonder if the soldiers fight hobgoblins. I know I'm on a tangent here. Here, we'll do this. Boink. I'm curious if the soldiers are going to come after him. Apparently, they don't register as a bad guy. I know these guys do kill villagers. Anyway, I'm on a tangent. So, he-mail, his job is pretty complex. He does a lot of things. Where is he? So right now, he's over here. He is putting wheat into the auto workbench, but that's not the beginning of his route. And neither is getting the wood. So let me see. Let me just hold still there, man. I got to show the people what you're doing. So let me just grab him. And then you take out his routing order. This is what tells him what to do. So the routing order, if we click on it up here, I've put a whole list of instructions for him to do. I had a little lag there. Zoop. And it took a lot of fiddling to make this work. So I knew I needed to do off camera. So for each thing, you take the routing order and you look at it like the crop farm and you press Z and then you tell it what you want to do with it. So I said to take match. So anything matching these 2 items, it'll take from the crop farm and this other crop farm. And then you get a choice of sides, which vary. And there's no real rhyme or reason to it that I could figure out. But most of the things work with up when you're taking. And you can also have it deposit things that don't match, take things that don't match, fill the target with a certain number of things, fill the courier with a certain number of things, deposit match, take match. So this I found the easiest because the number of things didn't goof it up, didn't complicate it if he already had the number and there was still more in there. So I found that worked better than the fill courier or the fill target. So I kept them all at that. So he takes stuff from the crop farm, he goes to the auto workbench and he puts wheat in it. And then he goes to the furnace and he takes bread out of it. And I'll show you how that works, but I've got the wheat automatically going to become bread. So I automated it a little bit, but I was mostly trying to use him and not item conduits. And then he starts his tree farm operation where he goes and he gets the apples and the wood and he puts wood in the furnace. And then the rest of it all goes into the ender chest over there. And you can see when I hold this, it is numbering each of his stops and drawing little lines in between them. So I think now we're at the beginning of his route. So let's follow him for a second. So he's going to go over to the crop farms and he's going to pull out any wheat or seeds that are in there. He's going to take it from the other crop farm now. And he's doing that. I know these guys all look kind of dorky how they work, but it's symbolic, you know. So, yeah, and then he's putting it in the auto workbench, which is turning it to wheat flour 1-to-1. And I'm using the item conduit in this case to send the wheat flour into the furnace to make bread. And then when he goes to the tree farm right now, he's grabbing the wood and the apples. And then he's going to stop over here first, generally. He didn't this time. And he puts the oak wood in here. And so we're making charcoal. And then the charcoal is this part I used an item conduit too, is taken from the furnace and it's round robined back into these 3 furnaces. So we have an infinite fuel source basically via the wood. And then the goal with him was to try to get this self-sufficient where he was producing enough food that it kept everybody fed. and it definitely hung in a lot longer than it did when I was just filling it. These guys eat a tremendous amount of stuff, but it's still not totally self-sufficient. I logged on today, and they were out of food, and they all had pork chop heads, and they were all hanging around here. I threw a bunch of cooked fish to give him a boost and give him a head start on making bread. Oh yeah, and that's the last thing I forgot to say is he takes the bread and he puts it in the town hall to feed everybody. So He-Mail there, his job is trying to hold it all together. He is the item conduit, and he's harvesting the food, and he's making bread, and he's filling the town hall, and he's feeding everybody, and these lazy no-good soldiers are just eating it all. Anyway, and yeah, he's putting stuff into my ME chest, all the excess, via that ender chest. So that's a pretty big advance from last time. So this thing's pretty much more functional than it was. Still not totally self-sufficient. I think it might be if I kept bone meal here in the special resources. So I think the fix for this is either making more crop farms or maybe hooking up the skelly spawner that I found over there under one of those witchery icons and keeping this continually full of bone meal, which might speed it up enough that this could feed, or I could reduce the number of soldiers perhaps. But then I'm afraid that these guys might get slaughtered one day. Yeah, so I know you guys stand around most of the time and eat all the food, but you do have an important job. And especially now that I raised the stakes and they're all wearing this high-end gear, if they died, their gear would just end up on the ground and despawn, and I don't want that. So trying to balance this out. It is very balanced as a mod, you know, as a form of automation. So I like that part. It's got this own little economy that with its own rules that you have to follow. So I'm digging that very much. So I'll keep working on this, but that's where it is for now. And the stuff that I'm building up, oh, you're stuck, aren't you? That happens once in a while. Is I'm building up seeds from here. They're eating all the wheat, and I'm building up tons of wood and some apples from here. So that's pretty good. That's really what I wanted. I don't need that much wheat. I need lots of wood, and I didn't want to have to lumberjack it myself. So Mr. Jack's doing that for me. And I wanted seeds so I could do seed oil for the bees. Oh, I forgot to give you a little checkup on the bees, but not much has happened with them yet. They're just going around their little automated cycle making forest drones and meadow drones and some honeycomb that we'll use later. But yeah, the seed oil will come in handy next time for that. So I think that's pretty good summation of what I've done with this so far. So yeah, it's my little town, and Mr. He-Mail he stays busy all the time. He doesn't rest. He puts all the rest of these guys to shame. Just running around, doing everything for everybody, collecting everything, keeping everybody alive. They don't actually die when they run out of food, but they do stop working. So I was glad for the fact that they don't actually die. So those are the things I wanted to update you on. And besides the bees, which I told you about, we'll just take a quick glance right here. And they've just been spinning round and round. And now they're filled up with drones and honeycomb. So that will be there for next time. So the thing I want to accomplish today is we need more resources. We did pretty well from the Buildcraft Quarry that we did underneath here, but we're running low on a few things, especially gold. And I just want to have enough stuff that I don't need to worry about it, and we can go ahead and build whatever we need. So I think we're going to move on from the Buildcraft Quarry today, and we're going to make the Ender Quarry, which is a step up. We're basically going to go to top tier items here, and I want to do it in the Nether, because the Nether, well, we reset the Nether because our Nether was deficient. It didn't have Ardite and Cobalt, and that was part of the whole progression with iguana tweaks that we're doing, so it didn't work not to have those things in there. And when we reset it, it had nether ores, and draconium is there, and all kinds of ores are there. And so let's just go do that in the Nether. And I don't mind messing up the Nether as much as the overworld. And I actually think it's fair to get the nether ores because it's actually a lot more perilous there than it is here. So it'll actually be more challenging, more things trying to blow me up. So things we got to do is we have to make an ender quarry. We got to make a QED, which is the thing to make stuff from that are related to it. And we need a Tesseract for power. And we also might need to make more power. So let's see if we can get through that stuff pretty quick without it becoming too much drudgery. One of the first things I'm going to make here is some magical wood, and we're going to need that for the ender quarry. And there's a few things that I haven't done before, are a little different. They're also worth showing you this process. One is, I've always used the liquid transposer to put liquid XP through the bookshelf to make the magical wood. But if you use very high enchanted books, you actually get a bunch of them. And I've got way too many enchanted books at this point. And these are 4 I'm never going to use. So from that, we're going to get 10 magical wood. That's pretty cool. I think I need 8 of them. So I'm going to use 2 of them right away to make my golden bag of holding reincarnating. So if I die, I'll have all this stuff with me. I won't lose it. So I don't have to worry about what I put in there and about losing it. And I'm hungry. Yum, 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 yum. Okay. So let's go about making the ender quarry. So what else are we going to need for that? In here, let's go ahead and use the power of our crafting terminal to make this thing. And I've made some of the items we're going to need, but we're going to need a bunch of this ender infused obsidian, which is this recipe right here. I didn't count exactly how much we're going to need. Let's start with half or a little bit more than half a stack. See if that gets us there. We can make more if we need to. This is what I need the magical wood for. I went ahead and made a bunch of Eyes of Ender already. So we're going to need 2 of those. And so there's 2 of those. Let's throw those back in. And then we need, let me see, the Diamond Etch Computational Matrix. I went ahead and made some burnt quartz. You just have to smelt a block of nether quartz. And I learned do not do it in the alloy smelter. It just gives you fused quartz. So I lost those, but I can always use fused quartz. Anyway, so we just need 1 of those. And then over here, the endothermic pump. So more of this ender infused obsidian, these things. So got those ready to go too. And there's 2 of those. So I think that we have everything. Yep, there it is. There is our ender quarry. Lickety split. And I want to upgrade it this time. There are upgrades for it. And ideally, I would want a Fortune 3 upgrade. But look at that power drain multiplier. That is times 80. That's ridiculous. We're not in that condition yet. So I probably would want to use the Silk Touch upgrade instead. And then just figure out a way to fortune it later. Just manually myself, or use a little autonomous activator kind of system or whatever to make that. So that, oh wait, that's not the thing I want. I want that thing. So here we go. I'm going to just need to make the ender quarry upgrade base. And for that, I'm going to need the QED. So that is the thing I was mentioning you need to make some of this stuff. So that's the QED. And I'm going to need to make another Diamond Etch Computational Matrix. That sounds pretty cool. And then let's go like that. And yep, we still got enough ender infused obsidian. And then with these, you need, I forget exactly what they're called, some kind of crystal, or let's just look up extra utilities. And that's not how you spell it. These things. Ender flux crystal. That's the dealios. And the more of these we have, the faster they go. Let's just make a few more of these and throw those in there. And we can make, I don't know, let's just do that. Okay, we have 5 of them. And we're also going to use those to make our ender markers, and those are pretty important. So let's get the QED set up. And then to make the, you guys can go away. To make the thing that we were going to make, the ender quarry upgrade, the Silk Touch upgrade, this guy, in the QED, oh yeah, we needed the ender quarry upgrade base. So we just needed the ender infused obsidian around the burnt quartz. So I do have to make a little bit more of this again. So we'll just make some more of those. And then do I have any more burnt quartz? I do. I have just enough. So let's go downstairs where we have a little bit more room. And we'll just throw this thing down. And then we got to take our 5. The trick when inventory tweaks takes your stuff is just to look into the inventory, in any inventory, and things show up again. So there they are. And we've got these 5. I guess I could go like that. Yeah, I got to keep it somewhat symmetrical. So now, if I put this in here, was it like that? Yep. So that's going to make our Ender Quarry upgrade base. So this is new to me. I haven't done that before. You done over here? Excellent. So we have that. And then if we do this, we can go ahead and let it make our ender markers. And those will be really handy. It used to be you had to line your whole thing you wanted to make with fences, but you don't have to do that anymore. So the last thing I'm going to need, I think, just for this set of stuff, is we're going to need a gold pick. And I'm going to need to put Silk Touch on it. So to do that, I'm going to need Silk Touch book. I'm not actually sure. This is one of the things I didn't look and see if I had a Silk Touch book. Well, it doesn't look like I have one, so I got to make one. And I think, I don't remember exactly, but I think Silk Touch might have been a slime ball in the enchanter. Let's see. Let's grab a slime ball and see if that does it. So if I put the book in that, I get Silk Touch. So all I need is 30 XP. No biggie. And I have so many thousands of essence berries in there now that XP is not a problem at all. And let me just, I try to stay pretty stocked up with XP because I've got that last stand on me that's keeping me protected. So let's put that there. We got our Silk Touch pick. And so I think that's the last little bit that we need. Let's grab our ender markers and then the Ender Quarry upgrade. This guy with the little S on it is just like that. So there we go. We've got the Silk Touch upgrade. And I'm not going to do the world hole thing or the pump. We could do that another time. We're just going to be doing this in the Nether. So we'll just be changing the Nether to dirt. So that's good enough. So next thing I need is a Tesseract. And let's go back upstairs to do that. So a few things have changed with the Tesseract too. That was the other thing I wanted to show you. And this is moving up into like high-end Enderium. So this is kind of the upper end of thermal expansion. And we've done it a bunch of times. But so to make the Tesseract, first you got to make the Tesseract frame. That's easy enough, except we need these Enderium ingots, which you can make 2 ways now. You can do the Enderium blend, which is the way I've always done it. But that involves filling a bunch of buckets full of the Resonant Ender and throwing them in the ME. And those don't stack, and so it's a little bit of a pain. But the other way we can do it now is with this Enderium dust from Buildcraft Editions. And that's Enderium base dust and Ender Pearl dust and Pyrothrium dust. So I think the math works out the same, but there's no buckets. And that base dust, we've got our shiny metal. I got this through pulverizing gold, and then some tin dust and some silver dust, and we're cool. So let's make a whole stack of that and then go back, and I think we just have to pulverize some ender pearls. Let me make sure that I look up how to do that right. That one is ender pearl dust, and to make that, you can dust it. Oh, really? Is that the only way to do it? Will I not get it by pulverizing or something? The duster, well, I think there's better ones than this, but this you have to jump up and down on. That's a little bit of pain. We'll do that if we have to. Let's see what happens if we put an ender pearl in the sag mill. It doesn't let me put them in the sag mill. Let me see. It doesn't. Does it let me put them in the pulverizer? No, it doesn't. So that's the downside, I guess. There's probably better dusters than this. Oops, and I gotta turn that off. And I just gotta jump on it. It's kind of fun. And then there I go. I got some ender pearl dust, but that may take a minute. I actually don't need that many of these ingots right now. I'm just gonna need to make 4 of them. So I think if I do that 2 more times, that will be enough. Just using some good old kinetic energy here to make stuff. Got to work for my dust with the BC Editions builder. BC Editions seems pretty cool. I need to check it out some more, but it's come in handy a couple times. So let's throw those in there and those in there, and then let me see. It was the Enderium, this stuff, the Enderium dust. So we have a couple of those, and now we just need to make this, and that's easy peasy. There we go. Some pyrothrium dust. Let's just make like 16 of them. And then if we throw that in there, we should be able to do this whole thing. Cool. So we have 8 so far. That's enough to get going, I think. And then, oh yeah, wait, to turn them into the ingots, I got to do, let me see. I can do it in here, I thought. But I'm going to need to do it. Oh, did I mess up? Okay. Enderium ingot. And I can do it like that. I can do it in the induction smelter, but I can also do it in the alloy smelter. Right. And I just needed to cook up the Enderium base. And the Enderium base right there, I just smelt the base dust. But oh, look what I could have done in here. Okay, I have to do it like that in there. Oh, I'm supposed to be able to do that. Oh, but that's not the base. How am I messing up? Oh, okay. Give me a second. I'm a little confused. All right, I think I got it figured out now. So I went ahead and I shouldn't have gone this far to the Enderium dust if I was not going to do it in the induction smelter. If I'm going to do it in the alloy smelter, I should have smelted the base a step ahead. So if I throw this back in, no, not that. Yeah, so I don't want this. Oh, no, we still got the base dust. Oh, we have more. Okay, so let's throw that in there. And then we go for our Enderium base dust. So let's see, let's just not go too far and mess this up. So I think I just want to go ahead and smelt that. There we go. And then to make the Enderium ingot in here in the alloy smelter, there, I'm going to put that with that and with that. So I need to grab my pyrothrium dust and my good old ender pearls, and I'm ready to go. There's the pyrothrium. We got plenty of ender pearls. And then let's just grab the base, these guys, and throw it in there. And so if we do that, that, and that, we should get Enderium. And it's going to take a long time. Here they come. Any second. Yeah, there it is. Okay, we got 2 of them. All right, so I'm going to let that go 3 more times, and then we will be ready to make our Tesseracts. Okay, there it is. And we can make 2 of them, so that's very cool. And the last step in making the Tesseracts, of course, well, the second to last step, you got to throw them in here and fill them full of resonant ender. That's going to take a while. And in the meantime, I think I'm going to need more power. This thing is making 382 RF per tick, which is probably enough. It's moving through this stuff really slowly. I set this up like a week ago. And this plutonium, that's the refined byproduct. The cyanide ingot is the waste from the yellorium or the uranium. And then if you put it through this thing, the cyanide reprocessor, you get the plutonium, which is as good as yellorium, but you only get 1 of those for every 2 of these that get used up, which still not very bad at all. So the thing has a half-life to its power as well, but I think I need to increase the size of this. I'm not sure. Let's go set the thing up first, and if I need to increase it, I will. I'll just need to make some more casing and some more glass, and then just raise it up by one fuel rod, like this thing right here, which is not hard at all either. In fact, I'll just go ahead and make that right now, just so it's done. Let's see how it does with what I have so far. Our Tesseracts have gone back into the ME system, so let's look those up, and then we just need to turn those into a real Tesseract, like that. So there's one, there's two. And so now I think we are ready to go to the Nether. I've got the Ender chest. That's cool. I could use the Tesseract to bring the stuff back, but I've already got it hooked up to an Ender chest. And then I'm just going to use a couple landmarks too, or probably just need one to help myself out when we get there. So I think we're ready to go. Hopefully nothing tries to kill us too hard when we're there, like these guys. And let's go check it out. Catdogpigduck's already done some quarrying in the Nether, but I'm gonna start. And whoa, that's kind of scary. Glad they're not mad. Oh, and I'm stuck, aren't I? Somebody webbed me. Okay. Anyway, we're gonna hover, and we're gonna go off this way. Woo! Wonder who webbed me. Did you? Okay, so let's just find our way over here and ignore everybody. Things are already messing with us over here. And I don't know what the zombie's doing in the Nether anyway, but all the rules are broken. Okay, so let's pick a good spot. I'm not exactly sure where CatDog did his. In fact, I'm not sure at all, but I want to get up pretty high. I guess I should just look for either a hole or a bunch of dirt, and I will know where he did his. I'll probably, let me scout around just a little bit, maybe pick a good spot. Well, I don't want to be right over a lava lake. I don't think that's going to matter too much. This is pretty good. And then what I want to do is just like get to a corner of this. I'm facing that way. And let's just go straight up into the ceiling. And I'm just going to hover. And let's just go all the way up to bedrock. And then we'll get the max out of this quarrying. And it's going to go all the way from top to bottom each time. So we'll get a whole cross-section of all the goodies pretty fast. So I think the Nether only goes up to 128. Yep, that's right. And I think I'm still facing the same way. Yep. So I'm going to quarry this way and that way. This way and that way. So as soon as we get up here, let's hover again. And let's just mark the way I want to go. I want to go that way and that way. That's a little scary, but nobody can get me up here. So I'm just going to go quite a ways this way and quite a ways that way. It doesn't really matter exactly how far I go. But let me see. I'm going to just throw one of these down just as a guide. And we'll go that way. So we'll have some sense of how far we're going. And I'll just go this to the end of this landmark, which is going to take us out 64. And what's that one? That's Nether Platinum ore. Oh, so that's we do get the shiny ore. That's cool. Platinum ore and the shiny ore are equivalent. Well, I'm just going to go out to the end of this one and to the end of the other one. And I will see you in a second for you. Alrighty, so let me just give myself a place to work here. Good enough. I can pretty it up later. Let's get my landmark back. And instead of the landmark there, let's just put the ender marker. And those little particle effects going each way tell us that it is connecting to the ender markers on the other end of the line. So let's just go ahead and throw our ender quarry down right here. And then if we click on it, it says it's successfully established boundary. And it doesn't knock them off like the landmark, so we don't have to worry about going to collect them just yet. Now let's take our upgrade, our Silk Touch upgrade, and put that there. And then let's take the ender chest and maybe throw it on top. So all the stuff will go into there and go straight into my ME. And then let's throw down the Tesseract. And that's what I forgot to do. I forgot to put the Tesseract down on the other side, and that crashed my game. I will be back. Okay, so yeah, the thing I forgot to do is on this end, right here, there's a power cable coming out. The little actual connector is under there somewhere, and power goes through all of these energy cells and comes out this side. But it also, let me see, I can just hold the wrench, the hammer, so you can see. It also circumvents the whole thing too, but this is like a storage battery of power. I want to upgrade these to resonant at some point, or something even better. Eventually we'll get the draconic energy storage. But anyway, if I put the Tesseract here, it should be able to receive power both directly from the big reactor and also from the backup energy. So we'll see how far that gets us. Let's go ahead and say yes, monkey. And we want to be not send items, not send fluid. We want to we want to send energy. There we go. That's what we want to do. So technically, theoretically right now, we should be receiving stuff. It's working. That is excellent. So we have a direct line of stuff to the nether. We're going to get all these crazy nether ores, which are kind of weird. As far as I can tell, let's just do it over here in the noisy thing. You have to smelt them first. You're really in there, aren't you? And then they turn into the regular ore, and then you can send them into the pulverizers and such. So we got 2 shiny ore from that. So that's cool. It doubles them. And then, oh, so if we put it in here, whoa, it'll double them again. So each one of those is quadruple. That's crazy. This is the OP pack for sure. Okay, so anyway, one last thing I could do actually is, I don't know if I want that much netherrack. That's going to be quite a bit. I could make a export bus and send it to a garbage can. I can do that on my own time right now. I think that's enough, just that we got this far, y'all. So we should have plenty of stuff from now on, and hopefully gold is not as rare in the nether as it is in the overworld right now. But this is Monkeypuzzle, your host, happy that we got that technical thing done, and I was able to craft that stuff on camera without it being too hard. It messed up a little bit in the middle, but that wasn't too bad. And we have moved on up in the world here. So thank you for watching until the very end with me, and I hope you join me next time. This is Monkeypuzzle, and I'm signing out. Bye-bye.